whichever first. The Ana game or the Lucio game?
The Lucio game.
Lucio game? Alright. So give me some background. Is this a Storm League game? Is this a scrim? Is this a match?
Oh, this is a scrim.
It's a scrim. And I guess tell me about your team right now. And also like your history with playing support.
We're a Div A NGS team. We're in the playoffs right now.
Mm-hmm.
I've been maining support for a while, ever since I figured out that it was my best role, I guess.
Alright. So when looking at these two comps, you guys have a bit of an interesting comp. So on your side, with a noob, you kind of want to go for like a fast team fight because he's great at like setting up a blow up. He's not that great at like a sustained fight because his health pool is pretty low.
Yeah.
But then Li Ming kind of fits into that blow up with the Malthael, but then the Lunara kind of signals more less blow up and more for like a poke war. Lucio
Yeah, we
fits
like
for
Luna
both
Ming,
blow up and
but
yeah.
we'd rarely play a noob. I don't
Yeah.
know why we drafted it.
Yeah, I like with the Ming Malthael Luna, you can easily convert that into like a sustained poke comp. You'd probably just want like a tankier tank for that than a noob, just because his health pool is so low. On the other hand, on as a counterpoint to that though, they did go Falstad Orphea as their DPS, so his spell armor is going to be pretty good against both of them, unless Falstad goes auto attack. In this case, he went Bribe, so that's actually really good for you guys. And then their team, obviously they have a Chent Bruiser who's going to be really annoying for diving the back lane, but with Lucio, at least you can push a lot of the Panda Pals away. And I mean, in terms of wave clear, they have the slide edge, but they have the edge with like Blaze Orphea, although you guys aren't that bad with it either. Are you guys trying to do Malthael double soak? You guys just 4-man bot?
Yeah.
10 seconds.
Right. So,
Are you screen sharing, by the way?
oh, I didn't do that. My bad. Do you see it now on your end?
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay, cool. My bad. Alright, so level 1, you got the Shalorando. I like that as a good talent, especially in terms of like you can get a lot of wall value. Is he top half or bottom half? What are you guys? Oh, you're talking about Ogle cosplay. Yeah, smart. You guys go for that play. You guys see? Did he put Chen bot? That's interesting. Heal boost time right now. Yeah, just stick to heal boost. You're not really speeding people into or out of a fight. Hey, good job so far. And maybe he'll amp it up now. Yeah. If both of your, I guess this is like a minor thing. If both of your wounded teammates are like near a wall, just like go to the wall and like heal them for it, just to give you more abilities to like engage your escape because you went for DHL around at 1.
Alright.
Okay, really small, and like you should prioritize like your teammates being an aura over your own personal movement speed. But for me, like whenever they overlap, I try to always have it just so I have that extra move speed for whatever the heck happens next. Yeah, start healing up Lunara a bit. It's the right call. You guys head to camp. And so far, there hasn't been much happening, so I can't really speak any pro or con out the Lucio so far.
Yeah, I think the Ultra Pass game goes the same way. Like first 5 minutes is just nothing.
Yeah. Like there hasn't been any like fights for me to like say anything good or bad about yet. It's been like poke war and then you healing them up. So level 4, between these three, explain why you went for this one and I guess why for that talent. That's what I hear.
It's it's my default. I'm used to having it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I like it against any dive I don't want to deal with, like Chen.
That's fair.
I've been experimenting with Supersonic and
Mm-hmm.
the stun on 13 just because it's fun and cool.
Mm-hmm.
Subwoofer, I should try it out more now that it's been buffed, but I just haven't had the time, I
Yeah.
guess.
Personally, just with my playstyle, I'm a big fan of Supersonic just because it gives me a lot more mobility. It makes my rotations a bit faster if I need to, and it gives me more opportunities to like engage or reposition in a fight. But if you're worried about countering their Chen, if you're especially about like the Chen dive with the Panda Pals, Oftwell can be a solid pick. I think all of these are pretty valuable. They just like it's all more playstyle based. And I say one is mathematically better than the other. I prefer
Yeah.
mobility. Some people might prefer, one big peel. Some people might prefer having a lot of smaller peels. So I just wanted to hear that you picked that because it kind of meshes with your playstyle. And against this team, with what you're trying to do with the constant peeling away, I think that's a good pick. Good boop onto the Orfeo. Bring her back in. Yeah, now just back your team up, and then whenever they're safe, just instantly start going to heal boost. So far, so you guys are starting with the fight. A lot of you guys have tapped. Orphea has this, so she's low on health and mana, so she's very vulnerable. Are you guys kind of calling out right now? Oh, dive to Orphea.
We're not calling it, but I think
That's the
my
call.
tank player's
Yeah.
looking at it. Yeah, he was looking.
Yeah, he looked for it. That's good zoning though, so now you guys can channel. And they should have to give you channel for free because he sent 2 top to deal with the Malthael. Oh! Leaving out the Orphea. Pretty dang good.
Meet your doom, Gravekeeper.
Yeah, get ready to... I'd say right now, just like get ready. Since Blaze is trying to escape, just look for a slide and push him back into your team. Yep. Exactly that. Heal boost, tamp it up.
Old towers.
Surprise you guys. Should you guys have conceded that? Yeah, okay, Malthael just died. Yeah, you guys are pretty low on mana. That was a good call for you guys to back up.
Old towers.
Oh, catch that Mitsuki. You don't necessarily need to be escorting to Lunara right there since she has her own like solid movement speed. I'd say it's probably a bit more important right there just to catch those 3 minions. Because you can still rotate pretty fast with Estrella around though, so you'll be able to catch up with her pretty quick.
Alright.
So level 7, what talent do you... Okay, so you go for reverse amp. I guess kind of explain why that one over the other 2.
I'm not used to boombox. Good vibrations I like on Tomb with the Spider Queen a bit, where I can disrupt rotations a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But I just really like reverse amp because of the slow.
That's fair. But then I guess that's the counterpoint to that. Are you using a lot of your amp it ups for the slow or for speed boost or healing boost? Because you should probably be using it for what your team needs. And right, I'd say so far a lot of your healing amps have had to been used for healing instead of speed. So I'm
Yeah,
not
that's
necessarily
fair.
sure if that's so. Like, yes, you can speed boost and you can slow them, but if your team's all low health, you're gonna get wiped. So I mean, it depends. Personally, I personally defer to Boombox. I've played with it a lot ever since before before the rework back when Reverse Amp was an ultimate. I still used to use Boombox for a few reasons. Although the main reason how I use it, and you don't really need it as much because of the Lunara, but it serves as a ward, obviously. So you can just plant it in bushes and see how the other team's doing. If your team likes to spread out during a fight, like a frontline backline split, which honestly might happen with Lunara Lee Ming as your DPS and a noob as your tank, you can kind of leave a boombox on one end and kind of have yourself at the other, so both the frontline and the backline can get healing. And then the third option, which you don't really need because of the noob, is tower dive. So I can see an argument for boombox isn't really that worth it. Uh, Good vibrations would have been interesting though, personally, against the Chen dive, especially with you having the Q low cooldown. You can just constantly boop Chen bodies away from you. So I probably would have gone just like out of boombox either from my personal playstyle or good vibrations just to kind of peel the Chen bodies away. Um, I think reverse amp's a bit better if both teams are kind of deathballing, and then you're constantly going to be your healing aura is constantly going to be impacting them. But I'm not necessarily sure with your comp if you're since the Leeming Lunara might not necessarily be hard diving. Lunara might go leaping strikes, but you're not really deathballing. How much of your aura is really going to be hitting them? If the main reason you're using it is for speed boost, your team should probably be taking a bit less damage.
Yeah, I see.
It's not a bad talent. At least you didn't take it into a Genji. That's the most common mistake I see.
Yeah.
Is they reverse amp into a Genji, and the Genji's like, "Oh, thank you. I'll just team wipe you by pressing W into your Lucio."
Luckily, there's barely any Genjis right now for me.
That's fair. Not really the hard meta pick. I don't know if there's much you could have done there. Safety and noob. Maybe instead of helping the damage, you give him an amp it up heal before you go do that, just to keep him at a higher health. Before Sound Barrier, you don't really have many great saving options, so I guess until then, keeping your team at a higher health is just a pretty safe. It's just like a much safer call. That's the situation, for example, where I might like boomboxed like a noob or the camp and then healed the other. And then yeah, unless you with that dive, you're probably not going to be stopping it without getting killed yourself. So
I figured it'd be safe. He'd just burrow out a bit earlier.
yeah. Listen, unless I have a big save tool, I just like to constantly keep people. I just value the healing more than the damage, so I guess maybe there. But you're right that a noob, there's a good chance he could have been able to escape. I'm not sure if... Would heal boost or speed boost have saved one hard there? Alright, I'm just thinking right now.
Yeah, this one was close. I honestly didn't know in the
Yeah.
moment. Like, should I have just healed instead?
Well, you're at speed right now while she's stunned. Just like, again, like minor things, but like if she can't, like heal there and then maybe speed her out, or like maybe start to amp it up when she gets stunned immediately, so she at least gets full value whether shit's speed or healing.
I think the easier play in hindsight was just boop the Orphea since I have full health,
Oh yeah, that's fair. Boop to clear the wave. Right now you guys should be just playing kind of like defensive to stall, wait for Lunar to get here. and then probably now since you're nearly 10, just give it. Like, it's not worth risking dying just for 4 shots. You guys do back up right there. Their olds, they went Starfall, Crushing Jaws, Bunker Drop, Panda Pals, and Drillings. I personally veer towards having, if you can only have an aura on frontline or backline in that situation, I just personally prefer to have it closer to frontline. It is riskier in terms of it's harder for you to escape any dives that they do, but it also helps. But the backline against this comp is probably going to be safe compared to the frontline. It's a really minor thing, but if they for some reason had like decided to just like try to blow up a noob, it's just more likely for him to be alright. It up. Level 10. Okay, thank you. Look for a dive. Good timing for amp it up. And then yeah, just speed boost, get your team out of there. You guys aren't turning that fight without Rejuvenescencia. You're not gonna be able to heal a noob enough at that point. Heal boost.
I was thinking maybe I should have sound barriered earlier instead of letting him get that low.
But on the other hand, it also worked as a deterrent. I like maybe he was out, but you can't like make that call 100%. Like I thought that was a good time and call for a sound barrier. I probably would have tried a sound barrier then too. So.
That's like one of the main things I struggle with the sound barrier
timing. Yeah. Is it too early? Is it too late? Like, should I have done it at all? Is like another big thing. I don't know. I mean, there's a CC following a noob, so there's a chance he just gets blown up. And like right now, when your team's not really like hunting for the kill, because a noob used his engaged tools on Tyrande from whatever call. Maybe he could have cocooned Orphea, but like after that, just like get him back to high health. He's been staying at like a 60% health for a pretty solid time so far. Call us yeah, slide Orphea, boop. Really good. Just good play from your team just overall on that. So then level 13, you said you've been experimenting with heavy casters. Which one do you go for?
Oh, I forget which one I get this game. I think heavy casters is another interrupt for Panda Pals. I think that's what I go for here.
Okay. I usually normally, especially with the cooldown reduction, I prefer to just save my boop as the Panda Pal interrupt over the slow, or it's the stun, but I guess that's another option. I personally, just because with the shell around I value the slip a bit more.
Yeah, I like slip a lot.
Just getting that baseline armor and then just like an extra burst of movement speed whenever you're trying to do the plays where you're like getting around somebody and booping them back. Especially without going supersonic, you're not going to always have the D to zoom behind them. So then using slip to do that. Do I understand why you went for heavy casters? Really good split on the hinterlands. I don't know why he went for it without the CC.
The Raven Lord has lost a tower.
Yeah, he rips a lot of those.
Yeah. I was gonna keep an eye or so right now on like how much value you're getting from the stun versus maybe having a bit more armor to survive damage, and then how much reverse amp value you're getting.
I felt pretty safe this game, I
Mhm.
think, which is another reason why I went for it.
That's fair. Although on the other hand, it's just like I feel safe. I get armor. I can play more aggro.
Yeah. That's something I haven't adjusted to yet since
Yeah.
this rework.
And that's part of why I like the low D cooldown, because I could always use it to like engage or I can engage, play a bit aggro, and then like disengage. It lets me be just like a lot more mobile. Right there, I'm not sure if you start heading down towards bot. I think you just stay with your team right here. Because especially with that tower being yours, they're not going to get to Malthea without coming through this choke point anyway. So, are you trying to go down here just like speed boost Malthea, or serve as like the actual channeler, or?
Yeah, I was gonna channel, but then I realized like
Malthea was
halfway
down there?
through he already has Pale Horse and he's closer anyways.
Yeah, like
So we let him
because
channel.
I was gonna say it'd be better just to like heal your team up here and get ready to to help in the fight. But you get back quickly. That's Lucio. That's Lucio for you.
Yep.
Oh, I'm out of position. I'll just speed. I'll just speed myself right back. Okay. Right now, I'd say probably use close here. Start a heal, amp it up, and then maybe think about sound barrier. Okay, on. Or just a straight sound barrier. That's probably a good call too. Boop. And then Li Ming resets, take it from there. Amp it up. Good slide and boop. That's a dead Shen. That was a really good fight from you guys. Let me just watch that again. You probably played that a bit safer than I have. I'm not sure if I would have sound barriered, but I think it was the right call in hindsight after seeing that they focus all their bluff on it. Then you guys just clean up from there. Because I might have focused more on sound barring the rest other than just the noob, but he survived long enough to get a bit more value, and I can't really fault that.
Yeah, it was mostly our noob I felt was getting
Blown
threatened
up,
the most
yeah.
this game. I also don't like it when I have to use it for just one person. I like
That's
hesitate
fair,
sometimes
yeah,
with it.
yeah. Because the other way to use it is I'm gonna sound barrier the rest of my team, so that we have extra health to win the fight. Is the other way? Is the way I guess I kind of like trended towards using it.
I think I just, yeah, I always do it like maybe never intentionally.
Yeah. Speed down. So now I'm trying to escort these. You know it's a 4v4, but the Falstad can fly. Luckily he doesn't have Gus, which would make your life a lot harder. Sense, yeah. I guess explain why you went for this one over up to frequency. I've seen people go up to frequency. I want to hear kind of your decision making for why you picked that one.
It's really good.
That's fair enough. I just value it in more of like it gives Lucio another burst. It makes Lucio's heal a lot burstier, is why I like it.
Yeah.
And you're gonna want some burst healing against an Orphea Falstad with Hinterland, who's gonna try to blow you up or blow people up.
Double front line's also really common. I don't think I've taken up to 11 yet.
Yeah. No, I think it's inferior to both the other picks. Okay, so let's see. You're starting the fight. Over here, he's unstoppable, so there's no need for you to boot fight yet. He bunkers, so you don't have to worry about. I was thinking about like your boot timing to push him off, but then he just went bunker. So it's like, okay, you don't even have to worry about that. Good sound barrier and slide onto the Chen, stun him. That way he can't get Panda Pals up. And really good chase right there.
Yes, yes. Let the altars rise. Total mayhem.
I find I'm not having to commentate a lot, but it's also because you're doing a really good job on the Lucio so far, not gonna lie. Like
Oh, thanks.
To the altars, and we shall deal the Raven Lord a grievous blow. Show the Raven Lord the extent of
that's why I'm looking for like really small things, because like as I said, you're into playoffs in Div A, like you're pretty good at support if you're still in the playoffs at this point in the NGS season. Like get chase and blow up. I'm okay with this call. You guys make it so that next tower wins. Right now, just speed your team away from them. There is no need for you guys to take the fight with until Malthael gets back, so I like just speeding them out of there. I like the call to also sound barrier right there. If you guys are was it just like you guys call out to commit to dive and then just you pop the sound barrier right there?
I just, once I saw that both teams were committing, I figured I might as well just rip
Yeah.
it.
And that's a fair way to use it, not necessarily as like a save tool, just like my team's gonna have extra health, so I don't have to heal them as much for the whole fight.
I also felt like I was a little bit late with it this game, so I was compensating there to be earlier.
Oh yeah, I mean if they're damaging the sound barrier instead of your teammate, you know, like that's not necessarily you don't have to use it as a save tool. Like if you think about how supports use sound barrier in like Overwatch, for example, it's very much use it like as the fight begins for like a high health tool, and a lot of people kind of forget that. It's more of a save tool if they're a pick comp and you need to use it because somebody's about to die before a fight really begins. But a lot of people forget that you can just use it as the fight starts, and then your team just starts with a huge like 2,500 health shield. Like it doesn't have to be used as a save tool, and I think that was a good case of like use it to snowball the fight more, straight up. You don't
Yeah, I'm in Lucio and Overwatch too.
Yeah. Yeah, when you see like Lucio, yeah, when I watch like Lucio pros in like Overwatch League, back in like Goats meta, like all of the sound barriers were like right as the fight's starting. So your team has like a big chunky health pool to start a fight with. Not necessarily, oh, my Rhine's gonna die, I need a sound barrier. And I think that kind of mindset could be applied a bit more to HOTS than a lot of people try to use it. So I like it as a save if they're kind of like blowing something up before like a team fight begins, but I think just using it, just I'm gonna get this on a bunch of people and we're gonna snowball the fight is still a really fine use for it. That was a good one right there. I mean, not much to, I don't really have much to say on that Lucio game. I mean, you played it really well. You won it. The only thing I might question is I don't know if you got reverse amp value, but a lot of boombox value is negated, and you weren't really at risk of dying, so you didn't really get good vibrations value. I was not sure if you're going reverse amp for the sake of the speed boost slow, which is a fine reason to use it. Just like, is your team not avoiding damage enough for me to be able to use it that way, I guess. And if they are, that's great. And if they aren't, is there another talent that would work better? In that situation, I think it would have been negligible no matter what 7 you went. But in a different situation, there might be a time where boombox might be better, or good vibration might be better if your team is taking a lot of damage. So you want to save your amp ups for healing instead of slowing the opponent.
This music is giving me a killer idea for a track.
There's a Lucio player in our div who usually goes all the aura size at 1.
Looking at you.
Aura size?
A party mix, that's what it's called.
Do they go for party mix boombox?
No, I think they go party mix, subwoofer, and reverse amp.
I mean, they know that reverse amp doesn't work with party mix, right? Reverse amp is unaffected by crossfade talents. Like, party mix doesn't increase reverse amp size.
Oh,
Does he know
I
that?
haven't asked him about it. He's a really good Lucio
Does
player.
he know that? And I guess the other thing is, I like another fun thing about party mix is party mix actually works with boombox, so it increases the boombox AOE as well. Just like a
I'll have to give that a
it's a
shot.
minor interesting. I don't normally like party mix. The one exception I'd say is if I'm not gonna be wall riding a lot. Usually that would be against like a Diablo, just because if I wall bang in front of him, I'm just like daring him to wall bang me, you know.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll go party mix and just focus instead of wall riding, just focus on staying in an optimal position for my team, and party mix makes that a lot easier. And then yeah, the boombox works great with that because you get even bigger areas. Did you have any other questions for me before you went to the second game?
Looking at you.
Again, I feel bad for not
20,
saying a lot, but like it was a
That's
really
no
good
worries.
game. Like, it's a good thing, and like a lot of everything I say like very nitpicky.
20, I usually go just the heal house party.
Yeah. Bossa Nova, I'd say mainly is best against like a pick comp when you have to use it to save people all the time. Because if they have like a blow up like if they try to blow somebody up once every like 30 seconds, you Bossa Nova it like each time, which is great. I think house party is like the go-to and like a fallback if you don't really know what to do. And then sometimes I go Summer Anthem against like Kael'thas Pyro or like Malthael Last Rites. And I'll just do like a Summer Anthem, so they're unkillable for 1.5 seconds. I'll pop Sound Barrier within that 1 second, and then I'll amp it up, and then with Rejuvenescencia, they're like back at like 60-70% health. It's like a good, oh, they try to blow somebody up, I'm gonna save them, turn the fight around kind of combo.
Yeah.
But I think in most situations, I think house party is pick. And against that comp, where they don't have a clear like Summer Anthem timing, I think house party was probably the call. Anyway, let's look at this Ana game. Is this also from the same like scrim block?
Yeah.
Alright. So did you pick Ana just because she's like the real meta pick right now, or are you just trying to do a specific combo with her?
I think just comfort pick.
Mm-hmm.
They don't pick too much dive, so she gets good value there.
Yeah. Also against Alex Strata, it's great because if you can neutralize just her heals.
Yeah, they picked Alex after,
Mhm.
which was puzzling.
Yeah. Also, troll your murder by saying if they go third win, that means they don't trust you to heal them. Because third one only gets value if like he's out of the fight and chilling, and then and when you're out of the fight, Ana can heal a lot. So you can just troll him about that, but it's fine. So level 1, let's try to get your point of view. Okay. level 1, what talent do you choose in this situation and why?
I just almost always go nade build.
Nade build. That's a fair build, and it's probably the best build for falling back on it. And I kind of agree with that build, because you're not really going to be auto attacking people that much. Like, they have a Joe who's technically going to blind you, and you're not really going to be like auto attack spamming like Li Ming or Rainer. Again, because they're not diving you. And then you're not really going to be able to hit a debilitating dart on the back line, and then otherwise you're just debilitating darting like a frontline character. Not really getting the most value out of it compared to having a better nade. And then yeah, I think nade build is the best comp. Also, just more AOE to shut down Alex Strazo W heals.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever the wrong build.
Yeah, there's situations where like occasionally the other builds are better. Like I have seen against like Genji's, for example, like they go Mind Numbing Agent at 7. So if Genji dives, then as you auto attack him, he just doesn't do any damage anymore after a certain point.
Yeah.
Because a lot of his damage is spell based, and then, I mean, his spell power is down by like 40-50%. What's he gonna do to you? And then I have seen people go overdose against like a very heavy melee comp because you can just shoot a dart through a choke, sleep all of them, and set up like a big wombo. But I think against this like double melee, double range comp, I think dose build is the call.
2, 1.
They're not really diving you, as you said. They're just gonna be. This could be like poking, and then it's just your job to nade somebody to save them or to help secure a kill. Okay, so there's a spray war happening. I said to somebody else when I was coaching them on it, I'm not gonna harp at all about like mechanics, like, because that's just the thing. Like the only thing I can say to that is just like practice more Ana, you know.
Yeah.
I'll be more focused on like, less on like did you hit the heal and more on should that have been your heal target. That might be that's probably a better thing for a coach to look at than just, hey, hit more skill shots. Okay, yeah, throw more accurate passes. How do you coach that? Other than just practice. Also, I don't know about the call sending Mephisto down as the solo laner. Phoenix is a lot better for that. Phoenix is actually picked as a solo laner sometimes. And he has a shield that he can use to kind of regen a lot of his health. I think it would be better. Just a minor thing, but like it'd be better for Phoenix to be down here and Mephisto to be with you guys.
I think our idea here was that we were going to spam camps with Ana Phoenix, and Phoenix was the better camp taker. So we just need Mephisto to not die, that's all.
That's fair. Although, not gonna lie, neither of your DPS are that great at camps.
Yeah.
Was this an actual match, or like why are you asking about like beast step rolls?
No idea. Just a scrim.
Oh, they're tracking our beast step stats. Fire away.
Select a talent.
So nothing really happens until like first.
I think right now just like you might as well just be healing people whenever your heal's off cooldown. Mainly to Mephisto. Just because. Kind of like I said with like Lucio before Sound Barrier, you don't really have a big like saving ultimate or saving a big save heal, so if you don't have that, it's just really good just to keep them as high health whenever possible.
I think with active reload, you kind of get a big save.
Yeah, but yeah.
But yeah, till then.
Until then, though, yeah, just like any chance that you're safe, like just heal. Like Also, it pads your healing stats, which is obviously since they're tracking B-step stats.
Yep.
Good to keep your stats up. I guess right now, maybe I would have said it's better for right now instead of you clearing a wave to already be kind of positioning yourself on the left side, because you're not really bringing much PvE value. I mean, you're an Ana. You've done that much siege damage after hard working for all those auto attacks. Like,
Yeah.
so I would say it's more valuable just to be here so you can start, like, you know, saving the Muradin. I say sleep right there. Nate, you already did it. Hey, you did everything exactly when I was gonna say to do it, so I mean I can't fault that at all. Yeah. Also, just a minor thing, if they're just doing this and they're safe, just tell your Throw and Burden to just like line up. Like, I've done that to team whenever it's like safe to, just like, dude, just line up or group up so I can heal both of you. Like, do you want healing? Yes, and he also wants healing. Just group up and I can heal you both. Otherwise, you're just gonna be like greedy and begging for heal, so I have to heal each person one at a time. It's the main issue I find when playing Ana in like solo queue is that people won't group up when multiple people need healing. And it's just like, why aren't you healing me? Well, I have to heal this other person too, and you guys aren't grouping up.
It's tough.
It's tough, yeah. Just don't be afraid to just like call them out on that though. Set something up. Let's see. So moment. Okay, so you just see Li Ming so far. Once you see the circle, I'd say maybe start stepping up a bit, see if you maybe want to throw a nade in there or not. And then at least position yourself so you can get a good sleep dart on somebody if need be. But I also understand although I also understand the value of just like staying safe against a comp. So I'd right there I might have, since you're in strike or aim down sights, might have thrown a sleep dart at Raynor just to see if you can help lock him down more. Because at worst, if you hit it, it's still a 0.5 second stun, because you can take damage for 0.5 seconds and then your team's fine. Phoenix didn't back. I was gonna say drop a big nade on him, but I'd drop a big nade like right here, I'd say, just to get your team's health a bit higher, or maybe on Thrall. You're trying to sleep dart. And now, yeah, you just gotta get out. Yeah, Mephistos. Once he gets done, yeah, he's a dead case. Good try. Yeah, just patch up Phoenix and then help him push.
Select a talent.
Grenade build. The Haka top, Raynor mid. That's been pretty safe so far. I'd maybe have naded right when Joe got the condemned stun on Phoenix, because just a big burst of extra healing for him is going to be beneficial, and then you can give him a bigger heal with each of your next Qs. I think it looks like he didn't need it though, but... And then you got a good W to prevent some healing. Not bad.
Yeah, I neglected my Phoenix a bit. That's
Good sleep dart. Just for PO, I'd probably be saying Muradin, yo, there's 4 down here. Just back up, dude. Oh yeah, definitely nade. Yeah, you're not falling into the trap, because I see a lot of Ana players when they're playing against an Alex Straza fall into the trap of using it solely to prevent healing and not using it to save your teammate. Sure, you neglected your Phoenix a little, but a lot of your W's so far have been like to save your teammates rather than just prevent healing.
Yeah, it's either healing or like kill secure for me.
Yeah, which is the way you should be doing it. I mean, the W just gives you an easy target for a kill secure, and if it's safe to, you can just drop a nade on it. But like, I also like to just mainly use it just, as you said, save or kill secure, which is how you've been using it so far. You have been letting your neglecting your Phoenix.
Yeah.
You had that right there, friend.
I thought he'd dodge it.
Okay, he's a fat boy, and she went orb build. Like, I wouldn't risk it with like Phoenix or Asmodan. Just like assume they'll get hit by that kind of skill shot, I'd say. And that's not saying like your Phoenix is bad. That's just saying like that's like Phoenix is fat. Like, simple. He needs to go on a diet. Like,
Yeah.
I guess assume they'll get hit by it in that situation, and then just drop a nade. Because worst case scenario, you just put your grenade on like a 14-second cooldown where you're not really looking for a kill anyway. Best case scenario, you save your Phoenix right there.
I don't want to be soaking right here, but if
Yeah,
it's just one way,
but yeah.
I guess it's okay.
You kind of had to in that situation. I assume you went Nano Boost to Nano to Mephisto.
Yeah.
Fair play. Just be judging your Mephisto to see, are you actually getting value from my nanos, or am I giving this to you for nothing?
It's about 50-50 this game, I think.
Yeah. Again, before objective, start just setting up near the objective or mid just to help your team out a bit.
Free our soldiers and show the hope what the Stormpipe Guard can do.
Nade him when he pops out of stasis. Yep, sleep him. Hey, you're doing exactly what I would have done.
Yeah.
Like, I'm saying it as you're doing it. Nade. A little bit late, but I mean, you did recognize that was like the nade play.
So
Yeah.
this game, like, I kind of get locked up into going nano first. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Yeah.
not within my flow at
Yeah.
all.
Not gonna lie, if you guys are going Earthquake Salvo, like, you could nano Phoenix. Your Mephisto might hate you, but like, if you're going for that combo, you can honestly save it for like after Phoenix does his swipe, just give him the nano.
Our Phoenix gets interrupted a lot this game.
Yeah, but you can like set it on him as the shots are about to fire, you know, once it's not like interruptible.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is hard to tell Mephisto, no, you're not getting a nano. Good sleep under the Haka. And now you're just trying to get out.
Our rescue's been halted.
I think Li Ming just set up here and just threw a really good orb.
I need to return to base.
I'd say though, like, in terms of like nano, I personally just like am more of like, since I'm giving you CDR and mana, like Mephisto can use it kind of in the middle of a fight instead of the beginning, and he'll still be fine. I tend to veer more towards using it earlier once like the heal factor comes in, so that he actually like can use it without dying. But As this is a small thing. Ooh,
That's
nade,
tricky
nade,
enough,
nade,
still.
nade, 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 nade. Nice. Yo, Phoenix, yo, Phoenix, yo, Phoenix. I think your Q had just come off cooldown.
I think I wasn't looking at him. I was looking at either Mephisto or Mirrodin, which is why I felt like I neglected him a bit.
Why'd you use your... Okay, that was right when you... Okay, you've... Give Mephisto the nano there. Oh yeah, you want to kind of heal the Mirrodin. Like... Yes, he's at like 40% health, but he's a Mirrodin. Like, he's fine. And then Mephisto's really fine. Yeah, in that situation, it's just like... And then he gets the really good ISO in before you can get the heal in. That's the situation of like recognizing like Mirrodin's fine, Mephisto's fine. But like it is hard to predict that because a lot of that damage came in because Joe did a good bless shield. Which is hard to predict. Sleep dart. Good try. Day towards Mirrodin. Yep. And that's a dead. That should be a dead Dahaka. Nope. Sleep dart. Sleep dart. I say sleep dart to Rainer right there. Because then you can set up like your Mirrodin and Mephisto to just like blow up on the Rainer with the grenade. Also, it helps peel your the Rainer away from the Mirrodin.
Yeah.
I could argue right there that you could probably try to go for a sleep dart on Dahaka and try to blow him up. Like he's used his essence. I believe he used his E recently. Yeah, I would have argued instead of like Mirrodin going for backline, you just sleep Dahaka and then just like say Dahaka, Dahaka, Dahaka. He seemed like a really easy target right there. I think you guys just tunnel vision not going for the backline. Let's see. I'd probably nade somewhere around the Alex circle and the Thrall right now. Maybe you go for the Rainer. I think hitting a Rainer Thrall would be ideal. I'm not sure if the nade would hit both of them. Maybe just focus on keeping the Thrall alive.
I think I tunneled on my getting.
You tunneled on getting your nano in, yeah. Again, I kind of view it as like Mephisto especially can get value from nano throughout a fight, not necessarily just at the beginning. So I personally just like try to use it within like the 2 seconds between darts instead of like tunnel visioning on getting it on him. It's tunnel visioning I think is a bit more viable if it's like you're following up on like a Kael'thas Pyro, if you're following up on like a Jaina Icy Veins. But like Mephisto, he'll get really good value like beginning, middle, and end as long as he has health. So like, look at that value. Like at the end of the fight, he's just cleaning up house. Now 13.
Killing spree.
I'd say in this situation, you go for the stun cleanse. Even if you're just cleansing
Hakatung.
Bless Shield and the Hakatung, like, and heck, if you're really like anal about timing it, you could technically time it off of like Johanna Condemns.
Yeah, I've never tried that.
Yeah, there was a great moment where like Kel'Thuzad when he chains two people, they're stunned for like a very small bit, and I got a 50 armor in right at that point, and then the Kel'Thuzad combo did nothing. And then like it was like there was some streamer on that team, and the streamer was like, "How did he not do damage? Like is he not stacked?" And it's just like, what the heck? It's like no, he had 50. They had 50 armor because of the micro stun.
I don't think I could execute that. So I just go for
That's
the-
a very again, that's like being very anal with it, and like the main issue if you just try to save it for stuns is that if they can kill you without stunning, then you know you haven't healed because you're waiting for that one stun. I'd say just using it just to cleanse the Hakatungs though, especially since the Hakatung lasts for a pretty solid bit. Gives it enough merit as a 13 in this situation. Yeah, I'd say like I was gonna say if you're going if you're about to fight like a boss pit, that pixel bush, it's a really good place for you to start in terms of positioning. Right now, that was a really good. I can't believe they didn't find Thrall there. He just drops an earthquake. I'd say right now you drop a nade, then try to get a nano in, then try to sleep dart. It's like maybe the combo I'd go for. Actually, they get the you said they got the interrupt on Phoenix, so maybe not the nano. Yeah, focus on saving Thrall right now. Everybody else in your team's fine. Drop a nade. Ooh. I was gonna say maybe drop a nade on like Daga, especially since you went for contact healing. If just ever just a bunch of your team like or opponents like grouped up, just a big nade just to heal somebody. You make a good call here trying to save Thrall again because everybody else is fine so far. I would have said maybe nade like right here. You neutralize there was some Dahaka instance, I think, too. You neutralize Alex W, you neutralize that stuff. You get some healing for your front line. I'm not sure why Murden backs up in that situation, though. I think this situation is more of just like Murden kind of left out the Phoenix to die.
Well, I think I was saving the nade for Phoenix because I felt I neglected him on that last fight. And I anticipated him getting interrupted, getting tongued.
Yeah, I'd say just have like a short-term memory on that. Just like, like I neglected him, but like the play depending on the situation might be to neglect him again. Don't necessarily like neglect him. Yeah, you tried to save him there. I'm just not sure about the Murden being back here right now. And then yeah, Mephisto can't do anything. Is he just out of cooldowns? I guess so. I guess he was just out of cooldowns? I don't know. And maybe he didn't feel safe in there. I see that situation is like... Yeah, like... The ideal situation there is the Murrah stays in there, you get a nade onto him so that he still gets more healing from you, and then you guys are fine in that fight. I think. As long as Phoenix doesn't get dragged right there.
Yeah. I didn't even notice that Mirrodin backed off.
Yeah, and he backed off at like 65% health. And it was just like... That was a bit odd. Yeah. I mean, your job now is just, you can't worry about it. You just gotta focus on the next fight. Just wait for 16. You guys really don't want to fight till they have that. Until you have that. On the bright side, you know that this fight they're not gonna have Dragon, because they used Dragon Queen in that fight earlier. So you do have that. And I assume from what you said about active reload, you do go for active reload.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. this, yeah, as like an extra burst heal option. Or if they have a lot of like sources of stuns or roots, you can kind of save some and use it to like pop it for each time they stun or root. Instead of just instantly just spraying it.
I like to just spray it.
Spraying's fun, but like I find sometimes like just saving it to use it for every single like CC that my Q can counter is also a good way, as long as your team's at high health.
Yeah, that's smart.
Because I mean, you don't lose the 3; they're just extra 3 just chilling in there. I'd say right now might be a good time for you to pop active reload and try to save the Murden, because he's about to eat that orb. Or he's out. I thought the Leeming with the glass cannon honestly would do a bit more damage than that. No. So right now in the fight, Thrall's just kind of off on an island right now. I'd say he should be your primary person you try to save right now. And the moment he's safe, you know, there's a Phoenix back here that needs your help. Like, just heal. Ooh, drop a big nade, drop a big nade, drop a big nade. Nice. Perfect. Yep. That was, if you're gonna spray it, that was the time to spray it. Drop a W. Hey, that W is the reason Murden lived. That's really good. And now you guys can just run wild. But yeah, I mean, that fight, you just use your biotic grenade exactly when you needed to, and then you healed the front line because they were the ones being focused. I mean, I can't fault that. That was a really good play.
That's the ideal situation.
Yeah, that's the ideal fight, because Ana is best in a in Divas. It was just like we were trying to figure out like when is Ana good or not, and then the answer was she's best in a front to back fight, where
Yeah,
if
like
your
the
team's in a
straight up
line
normal.
and their team's in a line, which are most fights in like an uncoordinated team, it's gonna just be like either chaos or it's gonna be front to back, and that's where Ana really excels. So then, to beat Ana, teams had to come up with ways to like fight from not linear, but from like a multi-angle position.
Like Illidan would just freak me out.
Or like Murden dives in from one angle, Genji dives in from another angle. Was like a really
Yeah.
common combo. I would have saved that grenade just to potentially like cleanse stun off of Murden whenever he's channeling, and then just like spam pinging. Like, come on. You're really gonna get stunned by a boss right there?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. You guys figured out Mephisto actually needs help. Alright, just rotating. Okay, camp. You guys have time for camp, yeah? Okay. Sorry, I lost control of my mouse. I'd argue right now you just go for a sleep dart in like this direction to maybe hit Joe or Raynor, or like Raynor, Alex, Straza, just to neutralize, you know, either a tank or the damage or the heals from the fight. Because they're just lined up perfectly for you to try to take advantage of some of them. And then right now, Dahaka got tongue on Thrall. Pop Q to save him. That's a really good nade right there on the front line. I'd active reload right now to save Mephisto, because he actually needs it if he wants to get value for the rest of the fight. Because right there, you had active reload, but then Raynor just got his Q off and then just blew him up.
Yeah.
Like that's a situation where like it's a really minor thing, but like if Joe's channeling W and you have your cool like up, just save it for that condemn and maybe try to pop it right there. Like they're not really in threat of dying, for example, and it just like cleanses the stun quickly, gives them extra 50 armor.
I gotta try that out next time.
Yeah, just saving it right for that small moment. Especially in that situation, that was a good time where you could have saved it. Yeah, because you had both their DPS dead. Like, they're not dying because you save it for an extra half a second. And then, you know, best case scenario, you give them 50 armor and they steamroll even harder. Like, in that fight, it probably didn't matter whether or not you did. But A, it's a flashy play, which supports need more flashy plays. And B, there's a chance it could help in a future fight if you just practice being able to give armor off of tiny things like Joe condemns, so that when you actually like need it to save somebody, you can give them 50 armor off of a freaking Joe condemn. It's a great feeling to have.
Yeah.
Now 20, you went nano infusion. Very minor thing. If you're base racing, the highest DPS talent is the attack speed one.
That's the only time I do take it.
And you are doing a core. That was a core call. Like
I felt like it didn't matter.
Like you could argue for this.
Do not let up.
Yeah. Normally for Ana, I just go for ult upgrade. Either way, would I go Nano or Horus? I do go for Horus a lot, but I think in that situation with both Phoenix and Mephisto to get a good Nano value off of, I think going Nano was the right call.
I don't like Horus.
I freaking love it. Like, remember I said the thing about like the straight line fight?
This is much better than
Yeah.
Horus is perfect for that. Also, if you're on a map like Dragonshire, it gives your team a lot of utility because your offlaner can now kind of like aggressively take a 1v1 and know you'll have his back. Or you can use it to stall like tower shots. Like I love using it as either like a troll to break the ritual of the 1v1, and just in a straight line sense you get
Never
so
stop
much
fighting
healing
for
off of
what
it.
you believe in.
Because if you pop it right after a grenade, like your Horus healing will still benefit from like the extra value you get from the nade. So it's something I use for like emergency, oh crap, they need a lot of healing situation. But yeah, in terms of, I don't know, the only thing I'd say mainly, again, this is mainly nitpicky because you did a lot of things right as I said, like, oh, you should do that.
Enemy has
So you have a lot of really good Ana instincts. The only really minor things I'd say are, one, you could probably use grenade a bit earlier than you think. Like you saved them a little bit, and maybe you could use it more for like the saving, but that's also more my playstyle. Just use it, pop it a bit earlier.
This is much better than
Obviously,
command
like
on the beat.
starting to use your Q to deny like micro stuns is a really fun thing you can do to help your team out. And then what else? I mean, positioning wise, I mean, you were fine overall. Like you ate like one Li Ming orb, but other than that, you weren't really had any pressure on you. And the one time you did with the Dahaka, you just slept him, which great call, great shot. So the main things I'd say mainly are just use your
Do not
grenade a
let
bit
up until the last
judiciously.
enemy has fallen.
But yeah, your positioning looked good. You were healing. You're usually healing the right targets, other than ignoring your Phoenix.
Poor Phoenix.
Poor Phoenix. Poor Phoenix. You and Murden left him out to dry.
There's a blink.
He has a blink, but it can get interrupted by a Rainer Q. Come on.
Do not let
And-
up until the last enemy has fallen.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of it. I feel bad because I'm just like, I didn't really like give you as much information as I would have liked, but also like you have a lot of great instincts, and like it's like really close to just being there. Like that was a good Lucio game, that was a good Ana game. Like luckily I can't really like say too much on those two games, honestly. Is there like a support you had a question about, or like another replay you want to go over?
I have a I have a very close Alterac past Lucio game. It is a Storm League game, but like it was very close and like we could have won it maybe, but I don't know.
If you want to go over it, we can.
Yeah, all right. Let me get it to you.
Okay.
Looking at you.
Life begets life.
Looking at you.
Okay. See it. Downloading it.
Oh, I'll be right back.
All right.
Lighting the fuse. We've got 10 seconds. 5, 4.
Camping at 1 minute.
But that
Okay. Alright, so looking at these comps, they are going for, yeah, Mura, Varian, Jaina, Abathur, Ana. I'd say that comp is what they should be going for is blow up, where like Muradin gets a stun, Varian gets Colossus Smash, Jaina unloads all her abilities, Abathur hats on one of these guys pumping out extra damage, and then Ana provides nade to help with the blow up.
that's the exact opposite of what they go for.
The exact opposit. Okay. Because I
Yeah,
was
you'll
thinking
see.
like they have a really great comp for a blow up, especially since Lucio doesn't have blow up saves other than Sound Barrier. When I look at your team, you guys went for Stitches tank, ETC, Grey Thrall, Lucio. If you don't go Regimen I'm gonna freaking punch you. First of all,
It's hard to pick the other two.
hard to pick the other two when you have two tanks and a bruiser. Your guys' team is very much just you out sustain them. I just straight up. You just have to out sustain. You survive. My impression would be the way they win is by blowing people up, and the way you win is by surviving the blow up and then just out sustaining. Basically, you have ETC sustain, Stitches sustain, Thrall sustain, Lucio sustain, and then Graven does really good sustained damage. Like,
2, 1.
so you're telling me the game doesn't go like that?
No, it was a brutal loss.
Okay. I'm curious now. Say here you maybe just heal Stitches a bit, but like really like it's not that much of a difference. You're just soaking right now. And then when Stitches and Thrall get nearby, just pop an amp it up. Yep. It's a good call to just help Grayman with that camp. Like, he can solo it, but it's just better if you're helping him with it. Yeah. And people forget that you can use your passive for extra damage. Good that you noticed that. Uh-oh, your team's getting salty at each other. Yeah. Not much you can do there in that situation. I'd say instead of going bot, you maybe escort Thrall bot, and then you stay with your team. Your 3-man. Of Stitches, Grayman, and Lucio.
I didn't know if Thrall was gonna go bot.
That's fair, but I just kind of stick with him because either way you should be mid. It's not necessarily your job, even though it is Storm League, it's not necessarily your job to catch that bot soak. If you escort him, that's one thing, but if you just go straight down without helping him go faster, that's a bit different. Ooh, go for slow on Ana. Group her back. Oh, good try. Really good try. Hey, you still got her. Go speed. Chase him, chase him, chase him. Nice. Heck of a good opening push. You guys get forward off of this, don't you?
I think so.
You should. Yeah. Good job. Yeah, Murd and Ana is a terrible duo to clear mid. Like, they need to send like Murd down and Jaina up to clear that. And then help Grayman get another camp.
We must capture the enemy's prison camp, where they will try to capture ours as well.
Yeah, I think they're the right call. Yeah, you catch it a bit, and then once they're there, go help Grayman. I'd say it's the optimal situation for you there. Crap. What does it mean if you tell me who you are?
I have no idea.
Okay.
It was a weird thing he kept up for the game.
Yeah, I think you being mid is like the worst spot you can be. I'd argue you should either be with the Stitches or with the Grayman. I'd say with the Grayman. And then when you see Stitches like starting to take damage, just like go up and try to at least maybe speed boost him out. Like he's already like he kind of killed himself in a way, and it's not your fault. So, yeah. Heal up Grayman. I maybe would have popped amped it up there since you guys aren't going to be fighting for a bit. And it'll be up by the next time you would have needed it. That was a pretty good on a day, not gonna lie. Did you go reverse amp for the same reason as before? Hey, you went supersonic this time.
I'm just not used to boombox. I should probably
Not used to
practice it.
boombox? Yeah, it's worth practicing. Even just using it to like tower dive, I find is a great call. And then like using it to ward, because especially in Storm League, tanks aren't really going to be inclined to ward bushes as much.
Yeah, that's true.
So then you can do that on your own. And there's not necessarily, again, like there's not necessarily a guarantee that you're going to be able to get reverse vamp value off on them. Like, I think if reverse amp was affected by crossfade talents, it'd be better as like you go party mix into reverse amp as a combo. But so right now, this is the worst case situation for you. You're literally alone, not giving value to anybody.
Yeah.
I'd say maybe the optimal is, even though you miss a little bit of mid soak, just stay with your just stay with your DPS. I'd say, just to give them more value. Because never mind, Greymane's just gonna push over there. You could try to save Stitches, but again, if he's doing that, there's not much you can do to really help them. I mean, that situation, you guys are just opting to trade forts. Looks like. It's a fair call. And then you're just catching the mid that they're not. So you got yourself, your team, like a half a bar of XP lead. That's not that bad. I'd say right now you start pinging like danger, just like tell them to back up. Yeah, I'd slide and boop him just so he takes extra damage. Keep him pressured. Oh, is that the ETC leap? Is that part of the problem? Okay, he's back. He's back.
I don't know.
I don't know. Like, personally, I always tend to veer towards, even if you lose a bit of soak in Stormlink, just staying with your team so that they don't die. But I also understand the value of you also got your team 10 first, so it's a tricky balance. I'm not sure one is the bad call. I think it's just like your team needed to back up bot faster. Now you're doing the right thing though. You're trying to help your team push. What is this Thrall talking about?
Greymane was like shot calling a lot, and then I don't know.
And then I guess I'm assuming that's B-Dub's a Smurf, and he's just like he's assuming the Greymane is also a Smurf. Like, who's your main? I guess. What rank are you in this Stormlight game?
Diamond 3 or 2 now.
Yeah, that's probably where B-Dub's the Smurf is at. She's probably thinking 8 Monkey is somebody else's Smurf. Trying to figure out. Are you trying to save Stitches right there? What's weird is you went to save Stitches and then you backed up again to help your Greymane. So you immediately, okay, so you heal Greymane, but then you start heading towards Stitches, and then you go back right as you see their DPS and tank there, and you know they're gonna need the help. It's pretty minor, and honestly, that's on the Stitches for being there, not for you not being there to support.
I just straight up, I think, wasn't paying attention to Stitches.
It's easy not to. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
That's a dead Jaina. Unlucky you got slept. Oh, they went Monstro. Okay. So that means Thrall's gonna have to throw. No, that means ETC's got to focus on shutting down that push the whole time. Huh. I'd speed him out. Yeah. Good boot. I'd say just get your team out of there right now. The Thrall right now is probably the most stuck. I think that situation, probably going for the Thrall would have been... Trying to save the Thrall might be better than trying to save the front line, but... Yeah, speed. Speed him as far away from his team. Good boop to shut down the Hatemaker. To see him has less damage, you have to heal later. That was a good boop.
Killing spree.
Monstra. And then just help, just help Greymane with the camp, I'd say. And there's like a low thing for boomboxing at value because you can boombox a camp and then help Thrall clear, or you can boombox a camp and then help your team bot. And as long as you leave it on speed boost, you'll get all the benefits of healing.
Yeah.
We're on top of the world, baby.
It shouldn't be Thrall's. ETC shouldn't be here. Also, he should be split, and Thrall should be with you guys because he has stage dive. But stun. This is a situation where I'd say I would have personally gone for armor rather than the stun. You're not really interrupting many big things with the stun. And the slow is honestly fine for most of these situations. And I would have just gone for extra armor against like Jaina damage.
I think I just wanted to try stun with a trait. Cooldown.
Yeah. No. You already use Soundbarrier, there's no way to save Thrall in that situation. Yeah. Focus on healing the Greymane. Make sure Varian goes for a Greymane just to keep Varian away from the Greymane. Now he's trying to speed boost him out of there. Amp it up. Once Greymane commit to the pack, yeah, just amp it up for the ETC. I'd say in that situation, instead of just like chilling here, stay with the Citra so you can get him out, because so far in the game he's kind of been like inting, not gonna lie. And with you there, it's less likely he ints.
True.
Go,
true.
yeah. Unlucky you got stunned, because otherwise you can go for that Ana. Yeah, peel them off the Thrall. Thrall's taking a lot of damage right now. And then just heal a lot of them while they're not fighting. You already tried to interrupt the Muradin jump? Okay, you just killed him without it. I'd speed up right there and then maybe try to keep Varian back. Holy crap! How is Varian doing that? Wait, what? Let me see that again. Maybe the stun was the call if he's doing stuff like that.
Varian gets all bananas.
So you get that, and then you should go to speed and push on them while you have the shield. Good try to get the stun. So yeah, once ETC goes for the slide, I'd say yeah, you try to follow up with a slide of your own. He's just hatting the variant, and then the variant feels unkillable.
He was unkillable.
Yeah, just you gotta speed your team out at that point. Yeah, that's a really rough spot of how do you deal with variant just going crazy on your team.
It's the nano.
I get. No, it's this. This is what's doing it. Adrenal overload value. But hey, now you're a healer. Now you might be able to heal a lot of that damage away. Okay, he went for the gorge. This is scary. I'd say if you're gonna do reverse amp there, I would have gone for the speed boost at that point instead of the heal, just so he's less likely to escape. Oh crap! Press the wrong button. Yeah, and now you're just speed boosting them so you can chase. Good sound to Jaina to make sure that she couldn't just kill the Greymane. Amp it up. Okay, never mind. He's just backing up. That was a good sound barrier in like the, like I said, like the pre-fight sound barrier where you just use it to just steamroll instead of saving somebody. You're just on camp duty. I'm not sure if I would have backed right there. I mean, this is a very little thing, but like, I would maybe just use that time to heal the stitches a bit more, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Like
yeah.
he had a high health and mana, just keeping him up a bit more. It's if anyone needs help so far in this game, it's like it's him and Thrall. So amp it up. Thrall needs to be careful. Yeah, he just got haymakered in. There's not much you guys can do about that, honestly. Like maybe if you boombox, you can like absorb like 6 shots, but like you're still taking damage from the keep after that.
Boombox has that much health?
Yeah, it takes like 5 or 6. Because they buffed the health recently. Because they used to absorb like 3, and then they buffed it so it absorbs like 5 or 6.
Even 3 is pretty good.
Yeah. I was just laughing when they buffed it. Like it was already like for me, it was already like my favorite talent. It's like, oh, and then you buff it. You buff its health of all things. The thing that makes it really good. Yeah, it can absorb a lot of shots. Yeah, and just get your team over to Siege Camp so they don't steal it.
Our warriors need help. Free them so
Yes,
they
Greyman
can
said
fight
your
for
guys' job right now is just to get 20 as fast as humanly possible. Uh-oh, what is Stitches doing all the way over there?
counting on you to get them.
Yeah. Speed them. And get ready to position yourself so that, like, if he tries to jump, you can boop him. I wouldn't preemptively boop him. Maybe, like, just try to, like, interrupt the jump. It's a hard skill, but, like, if you can, like, get really good at it, you can just completely shut down a burden when he's trying to get out.
Yeah, those like reaction things I'm not so good at.
Good sound barrier because ETC freaking needed it. Oh, yeah, you gotta get the throw. Good stunt. Ah, the freaking Abba hat got him, or minions got him. I wouldn't step up like that so far by yourself, but look if you're not punishing you for it. Yeah. Your boops at this point just have to be peeling variant off of people, and then because that's how he's gonna freaking win those fights. Really good fight. Huge hook, and that's a dead Ana. I see it right now. Yeah, you guys need to go for that camp. Yeah, so much macro on you.
Want you to know that wasn't me. Big one.
You guys couldn't have ended. Like, you need 2 keeps down to end. You guys couldn't have ended. I don't know what this is talking about.
In the moment, I was like, I don't know.
No, if you don't have 2 keeps down, assume, or 1 keep down, and you're about to kill another, assume you can't end.
All right.
Like a lot of other maps, maybe, yeah, but that specific map, probably not. Sound barrier? Oh! That was a really good try. It was just the haymaker came in. Good boop. That was a really good boop to get the ETC out. Pivot to heals, pivot to heals. At the end I said pivot to heals because like at that point I approached like ETC, if he's gonna take damage he's gonna take it regardless of speed or heal, and I was just like maybe you can heal him and then get him back up.
Yeah.
Just finding the balance. It's tricky. I think at that point once he's like near wall though, it's just like he's not in a place where speed's really gonna help him dodge anything. So I would have just pivoted to heals. Good boop. Varian wins by auto attacking, so whenever possible, you just gotta boop him away. Yeah. How are the other lanes doing? This game goes on for 9 more. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Wait. Yeah. Good sound barrier. I'd say I'd heal boost there just to get the Grey Mane out, rather than or speed boost rather than the heal boost. There's not much you could do there.
Game should be over right
Your team
here.
was very split, and as Lucio, you can't really heal that. Like Boombox can only help. Even Boombox can only help so much with that. heal boost. Again, just keep Varian away. Boop him at all costs whenever possible. This might be a game where I'd argue again for where you can argue for off the wall. I realize
Definitely.
against the with Mura and Variant, it shuts down both of them. Kill. Back up. Heal them.
Much better. No Frostwolf should be held in chains. Get them out of those cages and onto the battlefield.
That's another small thing is just at this situation, let him aggro, and then you just rotate up here and just channel. It just saves a bit more time. I don't know if the game will go that close to the grain, but there's always a chance. Oh, I'd go interrupt that right there. Yeah, go interrupt it. Unless your team's calling, unless your team is all calling to go top. Until you see them, and then they're right there.
I don't know. They wanted boss, kinda, then they did.
But then they didn't commit to it. So if they were committing, I'd say rotate with them. But they didn't really commit to it either. And now you gotta fight for objective. The fight's about to actually begin. Good sound barrier right there to stop to deal with the anti-nade. And a good antidote right there. Those guys needed help. Just boop him away whenever. Nice. He jumped in. You guys can go kill him. Nice. I wouldn't back if I were you, honestly. Like, yeah, the Greyman's right. The Greymane clears and the rest end, or at least get objective, you know?
Yeah, I think this ended up making the difference.
Yeah, you guys need to back up here. Just speed boost them out. The call should have been like you get objective and then you get another keep. That actually ends the game. Like the objective and yeah, like yeah. Going for boss whenever there's 2 keeps up, or core whenever there's 2 keeps up, is just way too hard. Especially without your best core damage. Who has to clear. I mean, he's not wrong for clearing. Get sound barrier. As long as you guys survive this, Abathur's down, so Greymane's coming. I think you maybe were a bit too early with that boost. I'd maybe save it to heal more than just the Stitches, unless Stitches is getting super low, and he wasn't at that time. But that's a tough call to make. Speed him out, speed him out. I didn't. Yeah, MP. Oh! You and Grayman were just on different signals right there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think you were trying to retreat and Grayman was trying to use the speed or your amp it up to engage. Yeah, you got the kill on Abathur. And you're just waiting for Grayman to come. It just gets yoinked. And then you use it pretty much just to patch up Stitches a bit. I guess the amp it up on Stitches there was the call. Nobody else was really taking damage. Whenever you have Boop, you got a Boop variant off of your team. Like, whenever you have Boop. Like, that's priority, I'd say, over, like, wall ride. Boop there. Speed boost. I would have amped it up there rather than gone for the Jaina. I think that might have been the better call, just to get him up to high health, because you can do that with Rejuven House Party. And then you just stay with him. You guys do win this 1v2 though, so.
Hero of the storm.
Tear our enemy to shreds.
You guys don't get him. Yeah. That was a really good stun on Muradin's part. You guys can't kill him with the Abathur hat. Oh crap. Holy crap, that doesn't end?
Yeah.
Holy crap!
This game was too long.
Also, somebody needs to have stayed here. Yeah, and then somebody has to stay back right now. Oh my god. They're also fine pick for that. Wait, why are you backing? Okay. So now the fight's starting. But you guys are down numbers, which is freaking scary. Yeah, I need to have to speed them out for right now. Because they pop Welly, they pop Nano.
Their cavalry will soon charge at us.
Chase, 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 chase. And then you and Grayman, you have to just go with the Grayman, honestly, at this point. Whatever Grayman chooses to do, you just have to help him. Boop them away. A lot of that, I don't think was your fault. I'm gonna say. The only like big mistake I think you made was right when you were fighting for that. When you went to damage to Jaina instead of going to heal the Greymane.
Oh yeah.
That was like the only like I'd say like glaring like you should have just say healed him first. I forget when in the game it is, but like you remember that one, right? Right, yeah. You went for the Jaina, but then like because you went for that, you and Greymane got split up, and then your amped up couldn't heal him. I think maybe in that situation just focus on staying near him and amping him up, because him staying alive is your best chance of winning there. Because if he's there, you probably get the murder and kill. If he's there, you guys probably get objective and then just end off that. So it's a tough game. I mean,
It is.
It's tough. Your Stitches didn't do you any favors there. I'll tell you that. And the Thrall sometimes positioned like a monkey because he was trying to get earthquake value. I think the biggest thing is making sure that when you're trying to play aggressive, make sure your teammates are still healing. Like, your kit's built for healing, Greymane's kit's built for damage. As long as you focus on healing him, the Greymane, ideally, should do just fine. So, the only other thing I'd maybe like, if you went for Lucio, maybe if you went for Lucio's 13 armor instead of the stun. I don't know if you got that much stun value that you couldn't have gotten off this. Although with the I don't know.
I did stun a lot, but I don't know how valuable it was.
I don't know how valuable it was compared to like just a big slow and then you having armor, for example, or extra move speed. And you didn't really die, but having extra armor would have let you play a bit more aggro on like chases. And let you position a bit closer to your front line if you have that big armor to protect you. Also, that means if Varian goes for you, he does less damage to you, and as a result, less healing. No, this was the turning point, though. You guys should have just gotten up. You guys channel objective. You keep objective running while 3 of them go for bot keep, and then you end. Also, the stitches are kind of annoying. No, that was, again, the vast majority of that game was really good in terms of Lucio play, though, I gotta say. And I don't think that loss is on you at all.
Okay.
Yeah. Those long games, though, yeah, it just feels like, what? It feels like every decision you made is just like weighing in on that victory. It's just like what if I'd done just a little bit more? But there's only also so much you can do in that situation. So,
Yeah.
other than just like becoming a screaming shot caller. Is there any other support you wanted to talk about, or just call it for today?
When do you like to play Stukov?
When do I like to play Stukov? So, there's a few cases. I really like him when you're trying to... I think he's another good support when you're trying to blow somebody up, actually. And I like to pair him with a noob, actually. So, like, a noob will, like, Q, E combo, and if your silence is below that the entire time, they can't do anything to escape it. They don't have any, like... They're just silence the whole time. And then, he can also set up engages, so I think... Or set up counter engages. So I also like him... If you're going for a control team, like a control style comp with like a Joe like front line versus like a dive team, if Diablo dives in, you can just completely just root him and shut him down with virulent reaction.
Speak.
So I like him if you're going full on, if you go like a noob dive, or if you're going for like a control comp, where your slows will be able to be used as a counter engage. He's kind of in that odd spot where like he's a very generalist support, I'd say at this point. Kind of like Rhaegar, where he's like okay at everything but not great at anything. Like his burst heal isn't super great, but like he still has to have a burst heal each fight. Like his sustained healing isn't as great as Lucio, but he does have sustained heals, unlike like Kharazim or Uther. So he's just kind of a generalist. I wouldn't say he's that pickable though. Do you know what I mean? Like in terms of generalist supports, I like Ana a bit more. Ariel's been getting a lot of hype. I like Anduin more, and I personally like Rhaegar more because Rhaegar brings more to the macro. Stukov just feels more like a fall. Like he doesn't really do anything special, so he's kind of more like a fallback support pick, rather than like this is a situation where you have to pick Stukov. Because like likewise with like the Anub thing, you can go for Tyrande, you can go for Kharazim, you can do the Ana for follow up. Like I don't know if there's any composition that like Stukov screams he's the pick, or he counters any specific comp. I know that's probably not the answer like you were looking for, but it's just kind of like his role right now.
Yeah,
It's kind of fair. Like if you don't know what they're gonna throw at you, just a Stukov is probably gonna do decent into them, kind of deal. Similar to like a Rhaegar, if you don't know what they're gonna throw at you, Rhaegar still pretty a good generalist support. The difference is Stukov brings CC while Rhaegar brings wave clear and camp clear. I think that's the main differentiator of if you're going to pick Stukov or Rhaegar. But I think where Stukov shines best is in a control comp, though. Where if you're just like kind of deathballing, or like if you're doing a control comp into like a dive, so you're just trying to shut down their dive through a lot of like slows and locking them down once they try to engage, I think Stukov's a great support for that.
Okay.
But that also means you have to pick a support pretty late in the draft, which I know a lot of teams will try to pick their support relatively early. And I don't know if he's as pickable early as, say, like an Ana or even a Rhaegar. Because Stukov, one of his big weaknesses is he does have a cleanse. So he's kind of just... He's kind of just like a heal bot with some CC. And yes, he's unique in that he can start an engage through virulent reaction, but you're probably more likely, instead of doing an engage with him, use it to shut down an engage. I guess that's where Stukov shines best. He shuts down engages through his WE combo and both his ultimates. He's just designed to shut down an engage. So against the dive comp where cleanse isn't as necessary, I wouldn't say he's that good though. Like he's just a generalist. Like he won't be bad, but he won't be like the pick, I'd say. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a sad place for a support to be, not gonna lie. Like, because as a generalist, he's outshined by Ana. He's outshined by Anduin right now for a lot of teams. He's outshined a bit by Ariel. And a lot of Stukov's value, I think he's better in solo queue than he is in NGS, in my opinion. Because he's one of the best heal bots in the game. Where a lot of people are going to be taking like damage, and the Stukov just spreads Q and just heals all of them. Versus in NGS where a lot of the damage will be a lot more single target focused, targeted, Stukov doesn't bring as much value. He's better healing against AoE. Yeah, I guess that's the answer to where Stukov shines best against AoE to shut down the dive. He's not a great single target healer. He's not very mobile, but he's great at AoE heal and shutting down to engage. Do you have any other questions? I hope that answered it for you.
Yeah, I think
It's kind of like a
yeah.
non-answer answer, but like he doesn't shine anywhere. I'd say he's just kind of good.
Because my captain wants me to play him a bit more. He really likes him, so I figured.
I mean, the main value of Stukov, I'd say, or the one thing he can do that other supports can't, is engage. I'd say. But even for like him trying to engage, I'd argue Deckard's just a better Stukov.
Yeah, I definitely prefer Deckard over Stu.
Because you have more on-demand burst healing with your potions. There are some teams in Div S that play Deckard as a tank. I don't know if you heard about it, but
No.
you would just go Sapphire WE stay a while combo, so you start a team fight with a bunch of them rooted and slept.
You'd better not
So you
be
just
looking for
go
black mushrooms
Sapphire
over
W
there.
E and then use ultimate to make sure that they're in the root to get locked down, and then that starts your engage. I think Stukov's like the Deckard that does AoE healing, and Deckard's the better for single target healing. Again, I don't really know much Div A meta. Maybe there's a lot of AoE damage, but I assume that at that level of NGS, a lot of the damage is going to be focused, and I think Deckard's just a better Stukov in that situation.
That makes sense.
Although Deckard is harder to play than Stukov, I'll give you that. Stukov's pretty easy to play. He's easy to get value out of because that's as a heal bot. He's so good, but he doesn't really shine. He doesn't have like a really great niche.
Speak freely, Cap.
Do you have anything else?
Toronto level 16. Feel like the stun isn't as good that late. I mean, the cleanse isn't as good that late. It's still cleanse.
I don't think
but-
Toronto's that good. Personally, I think it is pretty good, even if you have to take it then. I mean, because you have to think about what else you're getting. So you either do percent damage or you have cleanses.
It is wise to ogle neither.
So I think it's still the pick at 16 if they have one of those CC, if they have those CCs. I just think with this being moved to 16 out, I just don't know if she's that good anymore.
Yeah.
That's the bigger concern. Like a lot of her value came from you blow up people and you cleanse people. And now you still can blow up people, but you can't cleanse anymore
I have better things to do than just stand.
until 16. So I think she's a weaker support now. I still think this is the pick unless they obviously don't have those CCs. Then Empower is probably the go-to just for extra damage. But I'd value getting cleanse even as late as 16. Like, I mean, think of Kerosene. Like, you'll still find situations where sure sometimes you go wave 100 fists, but you'll find situations where you go cleansing touch even at level 16 because that cleanse is still valuable.
Yeah. The Charisms is unstoppable.
It's true, but like I mean, if they're going for because it's slow silences and stuns. If they're going for like Diablo, you can shut down a wallbang. Murden, you can shut down a mirror Q. ETC, you shut down a slide. Like that's still valuable, I'd say.
Alright.
Alright, you have any more questions?
Nope.
Alright.
Light your path.
Hey man, thank you for stopping by. I mean, your support play is really solid, I gotta say, which is why I had to kind of like reach for a lot of things to say. But that again, that's a compliment. That's a good thing.
Thanks for your time, man. Appreciate
no
it
problem.
so much.
All right, I'll see you around.
Yep, have a good one.